Welcome to the finale of 1 month, 1 deck with Mega Venusaur. Now, this month was an incredible journey of starting off with barely any experience and going into the first tournament in week 1, to grinding hard and refining the list week 2, and then testing those fixes week 3. Now, and for week 4, we have one last tournament to put everything on the line. It was 177 players that entered, and I was aiming for top cut at minimum. So round 1 was against Gardevoir, one of our scariest matchups right out of the gate. Both of us set up very strong, but back-to-back Teal Mask knockouts on Gardevoir sealed the game in our favor. Now, I will say that Toedscruel was massive here too, shutting off Screamtail from being recycled, allowing us to keep our Meganium safe so our Teal Mask could do those one-shots. So round 2 was against Gholdengo, and this one was all about discipline. We only ever attacked with Teal Masks and always kept multiple ready just in case one got knocked out. A perfectly timed Toedscruel as well shut any chance that our opponent had at winning the game as well. Now, in round 3 was against Crustle, and surprisingly this is one of our better matchups. We got multiple Meganium down early, which is our main attacker here. Now, in late game did get dicey. We were forced to bench the Mew EX to be able to knock out one of their Crustles, and they had Sudowoodo to be able to start the retreat lock, which we had no outs to. With a single prize left, they did misplay by not attacking one turn and just passing instead, which gave us the win. But even without that mistake, we were ahead on deck and holding Ionos, so deck out was likely our favor anyway. Now, in round 4 was against Terrabox, and they went first and built a very strong and solid board. But a clutch Lillie on that first turn got us into Stadium, Boss, and the full evolution line of Meganium, allowing us to end our first turn with just a Chikorita in the active and 2 Teal Masks on the board. Now, and from there, we were able to go into the prize trade by being ahead with 2 prizes, and they only had a single prize. That snowballed into giving us the victory. Now then, round 5 was against Joltik. This was our closest match of the day. They exploded early and took multiple quick prizes, but we stabilized and locked them with Iono, giving us enough time to try to claw back. Now, and it did come down to a single draw for them. They top decked Nest Ball into Fez, they drew 3, and they needed to hit either Prime Catcher or Boss to win the game. If they didn't, then the victory would be ours. But they did hit the Prime Catcher and they snatched the game. Honestly, a great match overall. Now then, round 6 was against Serena. We had a very slow start in this matchup, but once we got rolling, our number 1 priority was deleting their Volcanion to shut off their burn pressure and turn off any chance of them one-shotting any of our Pokemon. Now, and after that, it was just clearing Serenas and denying their setup to equal a clean win overall. Then there was round 7. This was the final round of the tournament, and it was against Mega Absol. Now, I've played this matchup many times on ladder, so I went in very confident, but our start was very rough as well. We started with only a single Bulbasaur and Teal Mask and a bricked hand full of evolution line Pokemon. Our opponent was able to accelerate and set up a Mega Absol, and they took the first knockout of the game on our Bulbasaur and ripped a card from our hand as well. We top decked into Bug Catching Set, which gave us the energy that we needed for our Teal Mask to be able to one-shot their Mega Absol, taking the first 3 prizes for us, which was a huge swing in our favor. After that, they did use another boss to be able to knock out one of our Teal Masks that we had set up at that point, and it all came down to a single turn left for us to be able to win the game. We really needed to find our Stadium. That was the one card that we absolutely needed, and we drew for turn, and it's Forest of Vitality. So we immediately used our Max Rod to reload Bulbasaur, the Teal Mask in our graveyard, and the energy to be able to evolve everything up into Meganium and Venusaur, use double Teal Mask acceleration, attach for turn, move all of that energy over to the Teal Mask, in one-shot their Mega Kangaskhan for game, and the tournament finish. Now then, as for the final results, we finished going 6-1, placing 5th out of 177 players. Now then, Mega Venusaur might not be a top tier meta deck, but it absolutely proved that it can hang and actually top a major online tournament. Now then, as for the deck list, here's the deck list that I used. It's the same thing as week 3, and it felt perfect, and if you're looking to try Mega Venusaur right now, this is the list that I would recommend. And since Phantasmal Flames drops in 2 weeks, here's my updated Venusaur list as well. Now, the only change between this and my current list is 2 copies of Dawn. I replaced the picnic basket and 1 vessel for it, and I believe that 2 to 3 Dawn max is correct, since in order to really use Dawn, we need to have a way of getting to the stadium as well. Now, and both lists are in the description if you want to test them. Now let's jump into 2 of the best matches from the tournament, and with that being said, game 1, let's go. Alright, so the first game I got for you guys is the one against Gholdengo. So here we get to start with a Bulbasaur. We immediately get that Nest Ball for the Teal mask, and then we get to go into a second Teal mask. This way we get to start our engines with our card draw. We have a Mega Venusaur in hand, we have a Bayleef as well, but the rest of our hand isn't looking too well. We do have the Iono, and we're most likely going to be forced to use that next turn, and that means that we will be putting this Toedscruel on the bottom of our deck, along with one of the Venusaurs that we need as well. But at the same time, we would rather have a chance of getting a better board than just passing on a Bulbasaur. So here we are just going to have to Iono, even though we know that both Bayleef are now on the bottom of the deck, but we do get a Bug Catching Set, which is going to be able to shuffle. Now, I grab another Chikorita because I know that Meganium is going to be necessary here, and I'd rather be able to guarantee that I can get into a Meganium, even though that means that we weren't able to take that extra Teal mask for another attacker. So here we are going to play down the Chikorita. I was thinking about playing down the Ivysaur, but I'd rather not give that up right now. We do have the Forced Vitality in hand, and we do have a Lillie's Determination. Now, our hand here isn't looking that terrible. Our opponent is having a much better time. They got double Gholdengo. All they have to do is just get 1 more down, and then they'll have all 3 Dangos that they usually need for attackers. Now, in here, they are just doing a ton of card draw, going through their energy, and we are just waiting and trying to snipe down a Toedscruel when it's going to hurt them the most and when we can actually defend it properly. Now, in here, they use a Arven. They find a Air Balloon plus a Earthen Vessel, which is pretty nice for them. That means that they will be able to knock out this Bulbasaur this turn if they decide to do that by attaching another energy. Here they actually have the Prime Catcher instead, so they're going right into their other Gholdengo, and they're going to take a knockout on our Teal mask instead, it looks like. So here they have the attach. They use a Superior Energy, which is going to be able to get them back their 2 energy that were in their discard. They're playing Erica's Invitation as well, so that's the reason why I scrolled over that. That's a pretty good tech that they're running. And they actually didn't have enough damage to knock out our Teal mask, so that is massive. That's going to be huge for us, meaning that we don't have to worry about getting so many of our Teal masks back, and meaning that we can just start by being ahead in this prize race. Now, I do have this Ultra Ball that I could use, but I want to hold on to it instead and be able to draw into it later in case we need that other Teal mask in our deck. Now, in here, we do get into the Venusaur, which means that we will be able to start moving our energy around. And then we use this Bug Catching Set, hoping to find a Bayleef, which we do, so now we have our Meganium down as well. We will now be able to one-shot this Gholdengo, and we will have another Gholdengo set up as well. We also have the Toedscool down, and this puts them in a very weird position where they're either going to have to use a boss, knock out the Toedscool, only taking a single prize, and then we just knock out their second Gholdengo on the crackback, or if they throw up the Lunatone to take the knockout instead, if we draw into one of our bosses, we can still take 2 prizes there. Either way, we're still winning the prize race. And right there off of our prizes, we actually get the boss as well. So now we can play around that anyway. Here they go into the second Gholdengo, they're able to start drawing a bunch of cards, they get down another Soul Rock, so it seems like that's going to be the play that they're going to do, is just using this Soul Rock. Now, they could take 2 prizes here by knocking out this Teal mask instead, And that actually would be the smarter play here. Being able to take 2 prizes, even though they know that I have a Toedscool down, I still need to find the Toedscruel evolution before I can start a lock. And they haven't really got too many energy left in the discard, if any at all at this point, so there's no real reason for me to be rushing down the Toedscruel right now. Here we do top deck into the Ultra Ball, which can get us into that Toedscruel, and I am going to use that, getting rid of a Ivysaur plus a Bayleef, and this will get us that Toedscruel anyway. I take a second to think if I want the Teal Mask instead, because both of those are good options here, but we will just go down with that Toedscruel and then use the Night Stretcher to get back a Teal Mask from the discard. This way we can still use the Teal Mask in our active, get to draw a card. Now, we don't have enough energy to one-shot just yet. I had to make sure by counting the energy in my head for this situation because they do have a Gholdengo with a single energy on it. So I'm just going to Iono instead of using the boss. I'm going to just take a single prize this turn instead. And we actually do get another energy, so we can use that, be able to draw a card, use the Venusaur, and just move a energy from our active down to our other Teal Mask, guaranteeing that we have our energy nice and evenly split, so we don't have to worry about any sort of boss play that they could do to knock out all of the energy at once. Now in here, they are just going to use an Earthen Vessel. They did promote that Gholdengo, and that means that they will be trying to take a knockout on this Teal Mask most likely, but this is another difficult position for them. Because we have the Toedscruel down now, they're not going to be able to use their superior energy retrievals to be able to get that energy back. So they have to basically choose which do they want to go after. If they go after the Toedscruel, then they're definitely losing because we're down to only 3 prize cards remaining and they still need 4. But if they go after the Teal Mask, we have another Teal Mask up, and if we can get enough energy, which we have the energy retrieval for, then we can just win the game. Here, they decide to just pass instead and hope that we just can't find enough energy to be able to take the knockout. But we do top deck that Earthen Vessel, which is going to allow us to be able to draw a couple more cards with these Teal Mask abilities, and then we will be able to just knock out this Gholdengo, putting them in the same position again and just sealing the game for sure. So here we are just moving the energy around. We know that we need 5 energy because they don't have any energy on this Gholdengo to be able to take the knockout. And all we need now is next turn to have exactly 4 energy in order to knock out the other Gholdengo. Now, they promote this one and they go into a Gholdengo here, being able to draw 2 extra cards. And then if they find an air balloon, they could go into the other one, drawing 2, but they don't. So they only draw 1 card. They do have the Fighting Gong. They will most likely be able to knock out our Teal Mask in the active, and leaving us just with a Teal Mask with 2 energy. But we have a 3rd energy in hand, and we have the Night Stretcher, which can get a energy back from our discard, making the 4 that we need to be able to take out the knockout for game. So here they do exactly that. They knock out the Teal Mask with all the energy, going down to only 2 prizes remaining, but we only have 1 prize remaining, so we will take this final knockout and win the game right here. Alright, so for the second game, I have the Joltik box. It's our only loss this tournament, and as you guys know, I like showing my losses too. That way then we can all learn from them and not make the same mistakes that I make. Now in here, they do start with the Pikachu EX and they get down a Joltik. As for us, our start is with a Mew EX. Now our hand is not that good. We do have a Nest Ball that can get us a Teal Mask, and we have an energy to draw 1 extra card, so we can see 2 cards next turn. But that's pretty much it. Luckily, we top deck into that Lillie's Determination right here, so we will be using this Nest Ball first, making sure that we have like the Meganiums that we're going to need, making sure that we have Venusaurs in the deck, and seeing just how many energy we have left in general. Now in here we do get to draw. We draw into another Lillie's Determination, and we just pop one off real quick. We get a Bulbasaur down from those new cards, and then we have the Bug Catching Set. Now I'm grabbing the Mega Venusaur here and a Grass because of the way that my hand looks, and with that Nest Ball I am getting another Teal Mask so we can get another draw. This way, if I can find a Ivysaur, then I can easily take 2 turns going into the Venusaur and be completely set up to be able to actually have a fighting chance and win this game. And we know that this turn, our opponent's not going to be able to take a knockout because they're going to have to use this Joltik to be able to power up their Pokemon. Here they start with a Miraidon, being able to get another Pikachu EX down. And that's not good for us because that means that we're going to have to deal with 2 of them. Usually we hope that they at least prize 1 of them, making it a little bit tougher for them to take back-to-back big knockouts and having a body that can just absorb a one-shot from us. Here they are just powering up both of their Pikachu EXs. They know how this matchup goes. We do top deck into a Forest of Vitality. The issue is that we have no energy to do any card draw, so we're going to have to manually retreat, use this Night Stretcher, be able to get that energy back, and then we get 1 more draw. We find a Lillies, so we are going to play down the stadium, use the Lillies, but we whiff on what we need. We do have this Bug Catching Set, and we whiff off of that too, so we only get a Chikorita plus a Grass, so that gives us 1 extra draw here. We are going to put down this Chikorita. We did get another energy, and then we're just going to use Bulbasaur to be able to retreat lock it for a turn on this Joltik, hopefully giving us 1 more turn where we don't have to worry about getting one of our Teal masks or our Mew EX, 1 shot for 2 prizes. Now then, here they are just going to Ultra Ball real quick, getting rid of a Clefairy and a Bravery Charm for a second Joltik. Most likely doing that just to thin their deck a little bit, trying to get rid of some of the cards that they're not going to need in this matchup. Now in here they are taking a little bit of time thinking their plays through, and they decide to attach a electric energy to their Miraidon, and then they're just going to use that Joltik powering up the Miraidon as well. So now they have that set up as another good attacker in this matchup because it does 220 damage. Now in here we do use this Earthen Vessel. We get 2 more grass energy, so this gives us 2 more draws right now. We're hoping that we don't have to use this Lily's Determination unless we actually have to. Now we do find a Venusaur, and what we're going to do here is actually a little odd. So we use our boss instead of our determination just to boss up their Pikachu that has enough energy to take a knockout. And we're doing this because we're able to use Bulbasaur to deal 10 damage to it to be able to pop its effect. Now, and they do have the boss to be able to take a knockout on our Teal mask, which is very bad for us. So they do get to take 2 prizes, but if we can get a Teal mask powered up and get our Venusaur all set up, then we can easily still have a chance in this game right now. So here we are just getting those energy. We were trying to find that Ivysaur or even find a Bayleef, but we didn't. So we are just going to manually attach to that Bulbasaur, which is a misplay. I should have attached to the Teal mask because it would have had enough damage to be able to knock out that Pikachu in case we whiffed. And we actually did whiff off of that Lillies. So here we do have the Earthen Vessel, but I remembered that I already manually attached, so there's nothing that we can do for that. I am debating about putting down this Chikorita, but I decide against that, and we just hit for 120. And this is giving them a chance of actually just taking another knockout here if they have the Latias still. They do have a Nest Ball, which is going to get them that Latias. Now they're going to be able to take a free knockout on this Teal mask that we basically gave them for free because we got very greedy. And we're just going to promote up this Mew EX. We find another Meganium, and we're going to have to do the first action as a Iono, putting them down to 2 cards. Use this Bug Catching Set. We do finally find a Mega Venusaur, plus we do have that Toedscruel, which can be very helpful here as well. So we are going to get both of those down, plus we got a Bayleef down as well. So if we find another Meganium, that is going to be very nice. We are going to just use our Max Rod right now to get both Teal masks back so we can get 2 more card draws and, more importantly, get more energy on our field because we only have 2 energy right now and we needed 4 to be able to attack with this Mega Venusaur. So here we are just going to attach naturally the one in hand, which is another mistake. We should have held on to that as another card draw, but because we have both Iono and Lillies in hand, I decided to just naturally attach it. rather than wait another turn for that card draw. So starting off their turn, they put a air balloon down on the Magneton, play down a Mew EX so they can draw 2 cards. And now it is just up to, do they have the Metal Energy and a boss to be able to take the final knockout that they need. They spend some time thinking right here. They do have a Power Glass, so they can actually go into the Pikachu, soak up a attack, and then be able to just hope for a boss to be able to get the knockout. So here they did use a Crispin to be able to set up their Pikachu and their Joltik in case they ever go into an Agnorantula, and then they just retreat into the wounded Pikachu already, willing to give us 2 prizes, but our goal is more of just trying to get rid of that Mew if we can draw into a boss. So we are just going to do a couple of card draws right here. We do find the boss, so I can get rid of that Mew right now. That way then they're not seeing 2 more cards and hoping that they don't have the Latias left in their deck. Hopefully they prized it, making it so that way then they only get to see 2 cards next turn instead of, or only see 1 card from what they draw rather than seeing multiple cards. Here though, they actually top deck the Nest Ball, and they will be able to get that Fez that they hadn't prized. So they do get the Fez down, they are able to draw 3 cards, and they find a Arven, which is going to be able to get them their Ace Spec, which is the Prime Catcher, and they will be able to get a Teal Mask up and be able to knock it out for game. So, after 4 weeks with Mega Venusaur, here is my final verdict. This deck is a powerful rogue contender right now, but it is being held back by consistency. Running 2 Stage 2 lines means sometimes you just won't find the right pieces in the right time. Dawn will help a lot, but we still need a better Stadium Search before this becomes a true meta threat. Secret Box is technically an option that you can run, but discarding 3 cards in this deck feels too punishing at times. Still, if you like grindy, high reward decks and clever sequencing, Venusaur is an awesome pick that I highly recommend that you give a try. And if you enjoyed this series, hit subscribe. I drop new videos every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, and I hope to see you at the next one.